Yeah, I messed up for a
Well,
moment.
well, well. We are back every Sunday, 12 p.m. Eastern. The No Life Digital Podcast coming at you. The No Life Digital Podcast where time has no meaning. Here we are, everyone. I have
Welcome to fatherhood.
my webcam today. I didn't feel like setting up. Had a long, busy day. Not setting up the whole rig. The webcam looks good. It's a Brio, okay? What are you gonna do? At least I got the audio sounding good. What's up, dudes? You guys buying any NFTs over the weekend?
No,
No, I
still
think
no.
it's completely stupid.
I saw this one. This is a story. Fleetwood Mac skateboarder. That video of Dogface with the Fleetwood Mac song in the background. He's selling his video clip for an opening bid of $500,000. Check that out.
That's
I mean,
stupid.
well, no. I mean, if you have the material that someone's dumb enough to buy, sell it. Sure, dude, make that money.
Hell yeah,
I
man.
just don't understand the idea of buying it, but we had that discussion. But like, no, okay, I'm doing well. I'm in the same boat of like, I've been feeling the webcam the last couple of weeks. It's been busy as hell.
It's a webcam show.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? Oh, Canon did release a PTZ camera recently, which actually looks pretty cool. I kind of want to get
Yeah.
one because then it's
been
like
thinking
basically a
about it,
webcam,
but
a way doper webcam is what a PTZ cam is essentially.
yeah. No, there's actually like there's a lot of much better webcams nowadays. Like that AverMedia one's actually pretty sick too. But
Yeah, I
like,
wish they would
I
just
just want to buy it.
include with like a 1 inch sensor and like a little fucking like mount that you can put different lenses on. That would be someone should release that essentially, and it still goes on top of your
Well,
monitor.
I've been seeing people actually start doing that, which I think is hilarious because I have a couple of friends who've tried digging around with that, of like basically taking a 1 inch CCT camera and just using C mount lenses and just trying to make that work.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess that essentially could work too. Yeah,
Like
yeah,
it works. I wouldn't personally spend the money to do that, but like I like the idea of it.
yeah. All right, so here's a little story. I went to go get my vaccine yesterday. I had an appointment. I was very happy. Kate was able to pull some strings to get me an appointment. I don't have the video. I wish I did. I didn't save it. It was on my Instagram. But I go there, I park, I'm all excited. It's like 11 o'clock in the morning. I got an hour of sleep because the baby was up all night. So I was like, fuck, well, whatever. I'm going to go get this shot. I'll probably feel like shit for like a little bit and then the day will be good. I go there. The line, I shit you not, was from the convention center and it went down. It went down like 5 city blocks, like full city blocks, like down and around these blocks. Just thousands of people lined up for this vaccine. And I'm walking, I'm like, God damn, this is going to take a little while. And I just kept walking and I could not believe that this was the rollout plan. Like these were all appointments. They allowed all these people to sign up for appointments. I am not, tell you guys right now, I'm not the guy that goes to Six Flags or Disney World because I am not standing in no fucking line for any reason whatsoever. So I was like, I'm just gonna have to reschedule. I would have had to have been there, no lie, like 5 hours. It was like a 5 hour wait before you got to get your shot. And I was just like, I can't. I would literally go insane. So I was very upset. I wasn't able to get my vaccine. I'm gonna have to figure out a different way. What sucks was Kate's was not like that. She had an appointment. She just walked in at the time that she was supposed to get it done. She got her shot and bada
Was
bing.
it the same venue?
No, this was at the She got hers at the TLA.
That might be a thing. Different, like, like yours was at the convention center.
Yep.
Yeah, see, that's just going to be a larger, like,
Yep.
it's just a larger venue. So they're going to house more people, which means they're going to have longer lines.
Yep. It sucked. I was so disappointed. I really wanted to get this shot.
I'm signed up for mine. I'm just waiting for them to schedule it.
Yeah.
Must be nice.
Well,
Well,
she wrote me
obesity.
down. Yeah, she wrote me down. Basically, just put all the ailments that you have, and you should be able to get on there. I mean, they're at this point where like they have, they're trying to get everyone vaccinated. It's not like they're
What's
running
the
out of
plan?
vaccines
By
or anything.
the end of May or by May something?
Yeah,
He
something like
wants,
that.
like a bunch of people. I don't know.
I think they're starting to roll out zip codes now in Philadelphia. This was the Pfizer one too, the one that I was supposed to get.
my favorite my favorite pun I saw about the vaccine was get the one shot Pfizer, the other shot Moderna. They call that an Arnold Pharma.
Yeah, well, I was looking up too. It was like, well, what if you only got one shot and you just didn't get the second shot? And they were like, it's still pretty fucking effective, even if you had the
It's
one shot.
effective, it's just
Yeah.
not as effective. That's the whole idea of the Johnson and Johnson single shot. Is it's not as effective as Moderna or the Pfizer two doser, but that doesn't mean that it's like not worth getting. It's still effective,
Yeah,
and
and it's like
still, even if you- and I
99% of
believe-
going to the hospital.
And I believe if you were to actually get COVID and you do have the Johnson and Johnson, your symptoms are much less.
Yeah,
Like they're much more manageable.
yeah.
So
Nonetheless,
it's worth getting no matter what.
Yeah, I want to get it. I need to get over. Like, we have this wedding coming up in late April, and I want to get it before we go to that. If I don't get it, I'm probably not even gonna go to that wedding. This
Yeah,
is
I got
like-
my brother's getting married next year, but he's trying to plan his like bachelor party. And I mean, he's understandable. He's like, listen, if you don't feel comfortable going, just let me know. I won't hold it against you. I'm the best man.
Yeah,
But it's like they're thinking Dominican Republic or Vegas, and I'm just like, I think they're planning for like November, and I'm like, I think by November I should be fine. I feel like most people will be vaccinated by then.
yeah. By that
But
time, you should be
until
good.
I get my vaccination, it's hard for me to give like a hard yes or no to it.
Yeah, no, because it's like you spent this whole fucking year being
Yeah,
safe.
that's like my issue with a lot of how everything's going, where it's like, all right, dude, I've made it 90% of the way, and now
Yeah.
everyone wants to fuck it up.
Yeah, like exactly.
It's
I mean, that's how
like
the-
it's
that's
like
how the-
dropping out of college when you've completed like 3.75 semesters, and then you're just like, nah.
Yeah,
You need 200 credits to graduate. I got 190. You know, I'm done.
yeah, exactly. Just like waste that entire.
I mean,
yeah.
it's how we had the 2 week, the 2 week shutdown. We're just going to be shut down for 2 weeks. Everyone do your part. And then not a lot of people did their part.
Yeah,
Then you got, the governor of Texas who's just like, I'm opening everything up.
yeah.
We're number one. And then somebody's like, yeah, but you're 47th out of 50 in terms of vaccines.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a recent poll, or not a poll, but like a thing that came out that showed like a lot of people aren't getting the vaccine, which is a real fucking
One
shame.
in four, I believe, was the number. I mean, there are some people that are justifiable in their not getting the vaccine. People that have weakened immune systems. Older folks that have problems with their immune system, like my mom. She has an overactive immune system.
Well, this is my thing. It's like,
the symptoms of getting the vaccine is like the fever. Your body's working, but if it works too hard because you have a weakened immune system or an overactive one,
it fucks
it
you up.
could be a problem.
And this is like my thinking. Like I like, if you don't want to get the vaccine, that's like, it's your right. Like, obviously you shouldn't force anyone to do anything they want, do anything that they don't want to do with their body. But it's also like, we kind of do that. Like, you're not, like, if you're going to vaccinate like your teenager, they're not going to go to school. They're not going to be able to do anything. You know what I mean? It's like, you kind of have to put it in that perspective. So it's like, sure, people that can't get it don't get it, but there's a lot of people that are just like, for political
and they try
reasons.
to hide behind things like, oh, they're gonna microchip you and their conspiracy.
Yeah,
theories.
there's like a lot of bullshit.
first
It's
of
just a
all-
real big shame.
Who are you, and why are you so important that they're going to put a chip in you? Check your fucking ego.
It's and
Dude, it's the same people who say to cover up your cell phone because the government's gonna get your picture.
yeah.
It's the same people that when you card them, I used to work at like Wawa, and people would come in and I'd have to card them for tobacco, see their ID and scan it. And I remember I had a handful of people tell me, I don't want you to scan my ID. The government's going to track me.
Mm.
Yep.
No, I can tell you right now that it
But
just is
what is
checking the
that?
barcode.
Yeah, but
It's checking to make sure it's not a fake ID.
It's
not
also
even
like,
so much
why do you
that.
think
It's-
that, like,
it's-
of course the
but
government's
if the-
tracking you? It's
But what's
tracking
the-
everyone.
If you're worried about the government tracking you, then why do you have an ID?
Yeah, exactly.
Why do you have a driver's license?
Like, why are
Exactly.
you
Oh no,
like
the
walking around the
government is
public?
going to get my face on an image that's on my driver's
That's
license. Oh
so
no.
they take your ID when you go to buy marijuana. Like when I went to Colorado, we went into
No, yeah.
we went to the shop and they check your ID. They I think they take a photo of it, but people I've had people tell me they think that like they're being put onto some government mandated list.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a real shame, man. It really
No, it's
is.
more that they're making sure you're not already on a list and that you don't have a felony and that it isn't
That's true.
illegal for them to sell to you.
That's a good reason why they should check your license when you buy a gun.
I mean,
To
I
make sure
think
you don't
that-
have a felony.
And I think you touched on a good point. It's really like it's the reason they don't do this is just for whatever reason. They just don't want to have some sort of authority telling them what to do. It doesn't really get any further than that.
No, it's not even
It's
about. It's
I
not
will
even
find the
about
irony.
some type of authority. It's about the specific authority.
Yeah, because if they were anti-authority, the irony is that they're also the ones for a lot of the time who try to
are
force
okay-
their authority onto other people.
Exactly. People inherently, I think, are okay with authority if it's the authority that fits with their view. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's the authority that holds up their values.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why Trump's launching his own version of Twitter now.
Yeah.
Is it
I
company
mean,
called Trumper?
Trumper?
Name's right there.
Is he actually doing that?
Oh yeah.
When is the
It'll
when is
completely
I mean, hey,
redefine
man.
the game, he says.
when is the
According
when
to
is the
Fox News.
when is the Chumbawamba remix of Tub Thumping that's just Trump thumping?
Hey, bring some fucking competition to the market. I'm all for that, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. It sucks that we have to deal with this right now. This. I feel like this wouldn't have been an issue fucking 10 years ago.
What
are you gonna do?
I mean,
I mean,
dude, that's
if we had
that's
if
the
we-
problem with the internet, unfortunately, is now
Yeah.
we're all in our own little hive minds, for good or bad. And
when you're
a
able to
lot of it's-
when you're able to transmit information at lightning speeds, you can also transmit misinformation at lightning speeds.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's a fucking
and a lot
shame.
of in fairness to a lot of people, I don't think a lot of it is done out of malicious intent.
Yeah, no, it's not
You know what I
malicious.
mean?
It's ignorant. That's all.
But I mean that
It's not
I
even
think
ignorance,
Also, that
really.
also goes to the misinformation of the news, where I think like sure there is bad actors in the news, but I think half of the time the news fucks up. It's just because it's at light speed. They have to try to go fast.
Yeah.
That's
We're
a
just
24-hour news cycle.
we're just in this predicament where you can't solve it. If this is how
Yeah.
information
If you
is
do
going
the-
to be transferred,
The-
we just
the
can't
news
solve
is
this
literally
problem.
Shoot first, ask questions later.
Yeah, which is terrible. But that's to me that's more of a societal issue than the news issue, because there are people trying to say, hey, okay, I'm going to fact check this and make sure the story's right, but the wrong story is already out there and everyone already believes the wrong story.
Did you see
Yeah.
the whole thing with Snopes?
Yeah, what's the Snopes? I mean, I've heard a lot of things about Snopes.
Do you remember Snopes used to be like one of the go-to fact checkers? True, false.
No, I remember Snopes
They've
being
been doing
like
a lot of mixed, but it's not mixed. It's like things that are actually true. They say yes, this happened, and their response is mixed.
What does that mean? I don't understand.
So like I think there was one about Joe Biden a couple years ago, said something like about how he doesn't agree with the plight of young people.
How did Snopes get to this position?
And
Last
then
time I used Snopes,
at the bottom says, in X year, Joe Biden did indeed say, I don't agree with the plight of young people. Truth meter, mixed.
Huh,
No,
why?
that is true. How do you put mixed?
Yeah.
Well, but like what? Why are?
pro-liberal bullshit? It's not mixed.
But my question is like, how did Snopes get in? This was Snopes to me when I used Snopes. It was like, is Bigfoot real? You know what I mean? It was like, is this like, the Prince of South Africa email real? It wasn't like, is Joe Biden's statements on, welfare correct or not? It was, how did that ever happen? It's very odd to me that people ever saw Snopes as like a fact-checking site, like a real fact-checking site. It was more of just like dispelling stupid rumors that were going around on the internet. It was like an Urban Dictionary type site.
Yeah, but I think that just came around because
Maybe they saw the money in it,
people.
and you know.
Well, I mean, it's that, but it's also just no one, for good reasons, doesn't trust anything. So it's like I can't.
Okay.
It's not like I'm gonna sit there and trust if New York Times tells me yes or no, even though I probably should. But I'm also not gonna trust if Fox News tells me, yeah, that's true, because it probably isn't.
This was published
No.
in 2019. I guess it got traction
Like,
recently.
unless it's like the AP needs to do it. Like, because the AP is like the
Needs
only
to be the
people I
fact
actually
checker is what you're
inherently
saying?
trust. Yeah, like if you want to do a fact check in that sense, because AP is the whole idea of just like print one sentence of fact and that's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. But
So
then
the
like
point,
we're already too far gone. Like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the people who aren't gonna believe the AP aren't gonna believe it anyways. You know, they're just gonna say they're biased and whatever. It
and
doesn't
it's,
matter.
it's a problem. Like
You
I
just
mean, I
can't
remember
fix this
the
problem.
piece that John Oliver did about I think it's not Snyder, it's Sinclair Media Group.
Yeah,
How they own so many local TV stations,
yeah,
local news programs. So when they have something they want to spread,
yeah,
here's a giant collage of hundreds of television stations and local news sources all saying the exact same message that Sinclair's told them to say.
yeah. Yeah, but I mean, it's no different than any other news, syndicated news outlet.
That's why, like, you want
It's
to
just
believe
they
your local
tapped into
news,
the
but
local market, which is a little bit more nefarious because, I mean, when I watch like news on the TV, like when I turn on Fubo and I watch news, it's mainly local news.
It's
I don't
weather.
really.
I watch weather and sports. That's it.
Yeah, I don't really dig into like any of the mainstream news sites.
Or
I mean,
like
as
of
far as I remember
local
growing
stories.
up,
That's about it.
local news was the same, like, 5 things.
Your mic's a little low, Doobie.
Let me see if I can bump the game. But it's like the same 5 things. It's what? Fire, shooting, robbery, cute story about puppies, food, weather, sports, another murder, and then a fire. That's the news.
Yeah.
It's 75% depressing and then 2 fluff pieces.
Yeah. Yeah, the news fucking sucks. It's been bad the last decade or so. Well, we'll see if they can figure it out. I don't know if they can. I don't know if this is a solvable problem.
I was saying this. I was saying this, and this. I don't know if you saw the clip. But so late night TV hosts. You had who was it? Jimmy Fallon had John Oliver on. They were screwing around with Alexa as like some kind of joke, and John Oliver's like, "Alexa, tell me about labor unions," and he was like pushing the envelope of the whole Amazon thing. And Jimmy Fallon cuts him off and is like Alexa, stop. And at the end of the interview, Jimmy Fallon's like, I had a great time. And John Oliver's just like, I wish I could say the same. Did you cut my joke about Alexa and the labor unions? You could tell he was pissed.
Oh wow, really?
And that's the thing is Jimmy Fallon is so, he wants to be brand safe. Like, he will not push the envelope against companies like Colbert.
Is he supposed to?
No, he's not. He doesn't have to. But I mean, it's clear that when you compare it to other late night hosts of recent, I specifically think of like Colbert. Then you had like the Daily Show, when the Daily Show had Jon Stewart. I haven't watched Trevor Noah.
Trevor Noah is the Jimmy Fallon of Jon Stewart. Does that make sense?
I could probably see it.
He's not a Jon Stewart. He's not a Stephen Colbert.
It's not my flavor. I was a big fan of Stewart, but it wasn't really my flavor. I will say though, Larry Whitmore, when he had that show after the Daily Show, and they canceled that, I thought that show was fantastic.
I don't know.
It was a really good.
Oh, I know who
show,
Larry Whitmore is. He's the guy with the glasses, right?
Really funny.
He's the guy with the glasses.
Mm-hmm. Bald.
Yeah.
Older gentleman.
Yeah, he's great. Yeah, he is great.
Yeah, I thought they canceled his show. I thought they gave him the raw end of the stick. I thought his show was great. But like Colbert, it has his own cons, of course. But he doesn't try to hide behind brand safety. He still has that cut to him, that edge that made Colbert Report great. He's willing to say what's on his mind and piss some people off. And it's one of the reasons why he's winning the ratings wars. Why he's like, I think, at the top.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some of his recent late night stuff, and it seems like
It definitely hurts. The whole late night shows being done from home has not been great. You know, you miss having an audience.
Yeah.
You can tell.
Yeah, the thing is, it's like a lot of these late night guys, like they go against like commercially accepted bad guys. You know what I mean? Like Trump, that's a commercially accepted. You can say whatever you want about Trump and still sell products.
He was a comedian's dream.
Yeah. Yeah, like, you know, going after, I mean, because there's a lot more nefarious like businessmen that they could be going after, and I doubt that they do. Who knows? I do like
that's John Oliver.
Yeah,
that's
I do like
absolutely John Oliver's shtick.
Yeah, his show's pretty good.
Who was the mining dude he went after who sued anybody who said anything about him for libel?
The Bob guy, I forget his name.
Yeah, he died, and even when he died, they still fucked with him.
Yeah. Yeah, that was he's pretty much the only one. I mean, it's also probably because he's on HBO and he can get away with a lot more. Yeah, I'm curious to know how far he can go, because
he's gone pretty far.
They are AT&T, like they are, you know what I mean? Like,
he bashes AT&T openly on his show that is paid for by AT&T.
Yeah.
Hey, if he makes them more money, then
they don't give a shit.
They will. Yeah, they're totally fine. If the ratings are good, they don't care.
Yeah. Like if commercials are paid, or the commercial spot is a lot higher because he's the highest rated show, they don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I don't even know what his ratings are, but I mean,
Or
Sunday
also
nights
if he's bringing in subscriptions to HBO Max or whatever, you know what I mean? Like,
which they kind of give out for free if you have certain providers. I think I have HBO Max for free just because I have Comcast.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's what, yeah, they've done stuff like that, but you have to sign up at the right time. It's like how if you have you could get ESPN and Disney Plus and Hulu super cheap with Verizon, specifically if you sign up on a deal.
Yeah.
There's a thing about ESPN Plus we might want to talk about, because
hockey's coming to it, and they're
getting exclusive NFL games as well.
Yeah. And it's still saying $6. Like, ESPN Plus is about next year is going to actually be the best streaming service in a long fucking
They're going to
time.
have exclusive games on their streaming service that you can't watch on TV, you can't watch on Sunday Ticket. If you're a fan of that team,
Amazon
you have
Prime.
to...
Amazon
Prime has been doing... They've been doing the NFL Thursdays, like the Thursday
right, but
games,
but you can see it on Twitch. Right,
well,
but now it's
doing
specifically Prime. I'm pretty sure next year.
I
don't think you'll get it on Twitch. I'm not 100% sure.
One of the channels I mod for on Twitch, they were actually the one who won the whole like Thursday Night Football thing.
Word.
And it's actually a pretty fun experience to watch.
Oh yeah,
a football game on Twitch, and with a streamer who's also like commentating on it, as well as doing like the predictions, like who's going to catch the next pass. It's actually a really entertaining way to do football. I kind of wish more sports would do it.
That one game show thing too that's like cropped out, that one mobile app that's like a game show, the Squares game or whatever.
Well, the only one I can think of was the trivia one.
Yeah, it's like trivia during the commercials or something like that.
So
it's
here
like
it says ESPN Plus to stream
something.
one exclusive national game annually.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is going to be interesting to see how that goes.
Do they get non-exclusives as well? Do they get all the non-exclusives?
This is what this landmark agreement
wouldn't
says.
that just straight up kill Sunday Ticket?
And a Disney, ESPN, NFL agreement, they get the Super Bowl 2026 and Super Bowl 2030. They get one exclusive national game.
Oh, is that ABC?
And that's beginning 2022.
Wait, is that ABC and ESPN gets the Super Bowl?
No, this is Disney, ESPN.
That's how it's working.
That's gonna be interesting to see an ESPN Super Bowl. God, they better have a good announced team for that.
Beginning in 2020.
That's how it's working with hockey. Is they bought ABC/ESPN bought 4 of the next 6 or 7 Stanley Cups. But it's going to be like the games are going to be on ESPN during the season, but the playoffs and championships going to be on ABC.
I wonder if the ratings will be better for them with that because they've been struggling on NBC.
NBC Sports is gone.
Yeah, I mean it's a
Yeah,
joke.
yeah, of course.
They need to figure out how to do something. So here it says,
No, I mean it's already been announced. They're canceling it at the end of the year. It's gone.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how the ratings are going to improve, or because like let's be honest, hockey is, I think from a ratings aspect, the worst sport.
It's this number. It's the fourth. Yeah.
Yeah.
where is it in
Still,
relation to
basketball or
soccer?
football?
Where's it in relation to soccer?
Baseball's got to be third.
It's above soccer in the U.S.
Yeah, definitely. The MLS is not a big draw.
Yeah, so at least it's above soccer.
Yeah.
I'm
no,
gonna
it's-
imagine.
but
I have to
the
imagine
big
in terms of
thing there
ratings,
is
it's football.
it's also going to ESPN Plus next year. NHL TV is no longer going to be a thing in the US starting next year. It's all going to be on ESPN Plus. So if you're paying $6 now and you're getting almost every single hockey game and you're getting
And-
all the football games and you can get more, ESPN
So-
Plus for like $6 or whatever.
So Disney
That's
Plus
a
just
fucking steal for live sports streaming now.
yeah. So Disney Plus, their streaming service went up $1 in price. If you want to get ESPN at a cheap rate as well, they offer a combo package that has ESPN and Disney Plus for a reduced rate,
Yeah, and you get Hulu
which
with
I
it.
might bite on.
Don't you get
Don't you
Hulu
get
with
Hulu?
it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
But
what
I
I
mean,
have.
You know how many articles are locked
Even
behind
right now,
ESPN
you-
Plus on the ESPN app
ESPN's great.
Right.
website?
Dude, ESPN Plus is $60 a year and you'll get all the hockey and NFL games.
Yeah, and they have the
For-
UFC
That's
license too.
insane.
They have all the
That's
UFC
actually-
stuff, and you get a UFC fight night like once a week
Yeah.
or once every other week. It's awesome.
Actually major props to Disney, ABC, ESPN for like working this out because for cord cutters in sports, this is actually like gigantic to me.
Here it says beginning in 2023, annual division round game in addition to existing wild card game. 35% more regular season games, 23 each season across ESPN, ABC, and ESPN Plus. Monday Night Football top team appearances increase. Flex scheduling added for Week 12 and beyond.
So
That's
Disney
still not
loves,
a ton.
That's just 10-year
That's-
agreement that starts on the 2023.
So you know
That's
how we
not a
joke
ton,
about,
but that's better.
you know how we joke
Hockey's
about
getting
Disney?
over 1,200 of the games.
Oh, that's not bad.
Like it's just replaced NHL TV, which NHL TV was $25 a year or 180, and now you get ESPN Plus for fucking $60. Yeah, dude.
So you know how Disney wants to own kind of everything? I always wonder if there's a world where Amazon decides that, Twitch is just, it's not worth keeping anymore. It's not worth the money. Would Disney swoop in and buy Twitch?
No, I highly doubt they
I
would.
don't think so.
Twitch is such a liability for any company
Yeah.
to pick up.
Disney has that kind of we don't care money. That's the only thing I can
They have
think
the
of.
we don't care
Why-
money,
but
I
why
don't think
would
have
they?
the
I
we
don't
don't
know-
care mentality.
Why would they get Twitch? I don't understand what would benefit them for getting Twitch. You know?
I don't
Well,
know.
who would
I
benefit
mean,
at all for buying Twitch?
I don't know how Disney views live streaming in terms of non-produced content.
Yeah,
Everything
I
they've
mean,
done
I think-
streaming wise is all produced content.
I feel like Twitch and YouTube are
the only people in that market.
these companies do. I feel like they really don't even view YouTube or Twitch in that same like level of content.
I think that you can view YouTube nowadays, not in that same level, but like if you're just talking pure money, YouTube makes money.
I'm always saying that there's going to probably be an eventual reality with Amazon where they're going to eventually bite the bullet and decide it's not worth it.
Oh yeah, and it's
Whether
gonna
that means
either
they
be-
just straight
it's
up
either gonna be
close it
Google-
altogether or
It's
they
gonna
sell
be Google
it.
buys it, or probably no one touches it, and it just
If-
closes.
If Google buys it, they could definitely use it with YouTube as a way to.
They
That's the
just
thing, they
integrate
do
it.
live streaming
They
on
wouldn't
YouTube,
do that.
so-
They would not do that.
No,
They would
probably
watch
just
it
do it just
die and
integrate
just
it.
say, "Well, come to YouTube Live," where every other Twitch streamer is gonna go right after Twitch sells.
Or Facebook.
And then they'll just integrate they'll buy it.
Now
for
Facebook could
technology.
buy it. Facebook could buy Twitch. Actually,
would be
that would be
horrible.
see that would benefit Facebook greatly if they bought it.
Because
I
there's
can
a
see them
streaming
'cause they
service.
love buying
They
shit.
offer like live
And they
streaming on
try.
Facebook, and it's
Yeah,
Facebook
no,
buys
live
everything.
streaming does good. It's just not good for content we would normally consume. It's really good for an older generation, I'll put it that way. Older generation streaming there does fantastic.
They did pay money to buy a few streamers.
It's also
from
huge
Twitch.
internationally.
Yeah, that then went back to Twitch after Facebook pretty much let them go because
Facebook
it
is
wasn't
huge
working.
internationally as well. Facebook Live does really well pretty much everywhere else in the world other than the US. Yeah, Facebook
And
would
China,
benefit
Russia.
greatly from buying Twitch. So you could probably see that. I would definitely, if they were in the offer. I don't know. Who knows?
I think that's it though. Like it's
that's
those two
about it.
companies
That's the only
or
one I can think of.
it's
I
gone.
really don't want to make a new Facebook account. That's for sure.
Yeah, and then
It'll be- yeah,
YouTube
it'll
would
be
still
one of
just
those two
dominate.
where-
Everyone would just move to YouTube, and then that's it. Because no one's leaving YouTube for any other platform. Fucking whoever the top streamers are, they're just gonna be like, all right, well, head over to my YouTube and watch my live there, where they can just turn on monetization. You know what I mean? Like the super chat stuff's already there. Boom, done. Now you can do the clips. You throw on ads. They start all.
I mean,
boom.
they're working on rating too. Like it's gonna take time, but give it 2 or 3 years, and I think YouTube's in a very similar spot to where Twitch is right now. Like for feature set wise.
Yeah.
'Cause they're like in the backgrounds. That's what I've been hearing and seeing is like, no, they're working on clips. They're working on rating. They're working on
Yeah.
a directory.
They know that's their
They're working
only
on making
lacking
emotes,
field
like-
is their live platform. It's just not as it's not even lacking. It's just not as seamless and as intuitive as Twitch is.
It's not fleshed out.
Yeah. So as soon as they fix that, it's over. And then that's probably when you'll start to see Amazon think about selling Twitch off. Who knows though? Because I don't know, because they did buy it with the understanding of like this. It's not going to make them money, and they do have like this entire sort of like they make so much money. They have content on Amazon. There's music, there's videos, there's books. It does make sense for them to have live content as well, gaming live content.
Whatever the content creators are all fighting for too, and this is the hardest part of Twitch, and I think you would see a lot more pushback against Twitch is a lot of like I'm seeing people sign up with Facebook more because Facebook's not locking them into pure exclusive.
Yeah, that's a big knock against Twitch.
It's signing like a 70% of your streams have to be here, but we don't care if you multi-stream to other places sometimes or stream elsewhere.
Yeah, and YouTube
Like,
doesn't have that at all.
Pushing back. Depends, but yeah. Like if you just start on YouTube, there's no exclusive contract. But if you are one of like those big streamers that they brought over on a contract,
Yeah, that's
they are
different.
locked in.
Yeah, that's a little different.
Yeah.
That's
But,
like
like,
an exclusive deal.
Well, people are trying to fight back against that of just like, no, if you're gonna pay me a ton, like, because it's right now it's just being used as a chip at the top tier of like, well, I'll go to this place if you don't give me money, and that it's a valid tactic to get more money for a contract. But I see a lot of pushback on that whole contract agreement of exclusivity.
Yeah,
And if that
stupid.
actually goes through, that might help Twitch, and it also will really hurt Twitch.
Yeah, I mean Twitch, especially with kind of how strict they've got in with content and just we see people getting banned all the time. If you can only
Dude, every
stream to
content
Twitch
creator wants to
and
diversify.
yeah, if you can only stream to Twitch and you have this new fucking thing that's coming down with the strikes, the music, the copyright shit, plus Twitch's heavy-handed approach to moderation, and then they just, hey, you're banned, and they're not going to tell you why, and you're locked into an exclusive deal, like that sucks. You know what I mean? So of course people are going to look elsewhere for better, more flexible, things to get into.
I mean, yeah, like if you could get good money from YouTube and not be exclusive, so you can just hit up Restream and be streaming on all three of the services. Yeah,
exactly.
do it.
All right.
That's been actually a big argument for people to not go affiliate on Twitch, actually. Is just keep doing restreaming until you're like...
I'm affiliate on my other channel, and I restream anyway.
Yeah, but like, that's just been like one of the arguments is just don't do that until you can tell you, like, just run a Patreon, you know what I mean? And then don't commit until you're like, okay, well, cool, dude. If I commit to a partnership right now, I'm gonna get 600 subs a month easy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, unless you're going to hit that amount of money, just restream on all three, use Patreon.
Yeah. Control Dev says cross-gen development is partly why PS5 and Xbox Series X games have yet to blow us away. So we talked about this before. It's kind of like, Pikachu shocked face thing. But
You mean they're the same system except for the Series S? Wow.
it's just a shame that, like, I don't know, these game companies feel like they have to cater to... I feel like, I don't know. I would love more game developers to just, like, let's make the best possible game ever. If that means we can't use one platform over the other, then so be it. But whichever one our technology works the best on, runs the best on, looks the best on, sounds the best on, then that's what we're going with.
And that's partly
You don't
why
have a
the
console
reason,
game then.
Yeah, I would say that's probably one of the reasons why the Final Fantasy VII DLC is PS5 only. They wanted to show off what they can do with that engine in the PS5. So in order to do that, they can't cut the corners to have it run on PS4.
Yeah.
True. But that's the thing is the install base is so low for PS5 right now that making a game that's exclusively only PS5 at the moment is going to hurt their sales. You have to cater to both audiences until the install base is big enough.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Cyberpunk.
The shortages have been an issue.
Yeah,
for
Cyberpunk's the
PlayStation
best
5's
example.
launch.
Like Cyberpunk's a game you're talking about to me, where it's just like, yeah, if you don't have a 3080 minimum, go fuck yourself.
It's
Funny
crazy that
enough,
they even... I mean, it still blows me away they even tried to release on PS4.
Yeah.
It's
I
so
saw an article
insane.
earlier.
It's such a
Cyberpunk's
beautiful
2077
game.
long-term sales are not looking good, according to a research and analytics firm.
Yeah, but all they need is a good patch, and it is a great game. Like there is.
Didn't they just delay the patch?
What do you mean until like people start buying PS5s and
Well,
shit?
I'm just saying, didn't the next patch they were going to release for Cyberpunk get delayed?
Oh yeah, they just released
Like,
one though.
They're
Actually,
delaying patches though.
I think they've
not
delayed
great.
the big sort of next gen patch, but they did just release a
and
patch.
it's still not on the PlayStation Store.
Oh yeah, it might not ever be on there. I wouldn't be surprised.
It's kind of wild.
Yeah. Yeah, so, this isn't very surprising, but we're just in that transition period. I don't know. We're just going to have to wait.
It happens. I feel like this happens every new console launch. There's that.
Yeah, the launches always
year
suck.
to
That's why I said
two-
not to buy one, and you guys both still bought one like cheap.
Oh, I'm glad I bought
Kidding.
one.
I mean, yeah, I'm going to buy one anyway. If you can get
I'm
one, you
playing-
might as well
yeah,
buy
but
one.
I'm gonna wait.
I'm gonna wait and not go through the hassle of trying to track one down to play Bugs Life.
Playing
whatever.
Yakuza Like a Dragon on it right now because they just released the PS5 upgrade, and I've already had a few people in my chat tell me that it looks better than their PS4 version.
What?
I mean, hey,
what
there you
version?
go.
Like the hair looks like much better. Different effects.
I mean,
look
hell
just
yeah.
crisper.
I just that's where I'm like sitting where it's like, I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna play NHL on my console. I don't give a shit. Like,
Play NHL on your PC, man. You got to get that high fidelity.
Oh, yeah, by the way, EA Play, I looked earlier. EA Play
Play's
is
coming
on...
to this PC, but they don't make NHL games for it.
Oh, really?
It's console only, yeah.
Dang, rip.
I know it was on Origin last time, the NHL game.
I think some of them, but not all of them are.
It's out now. The EA Play is out on Xbox, on PC now, on Games Pass. So if you have Games Pass, you get all the EA Play stuff, which is pretty
So is
cool.
all of the Bethesda stuff now, and Twitch will let you know that every third ad.
Let me talk about Path of Exile real quick, because I kind of want to dive into this discussion. Okay. So
Before I
Go ahead.
can I bring up one callback?
Yeah.
I was looking this up before we got into talking about other stuff. That Aver Media webcam I was telling you about, do you remember that? The $250 one that everyone actually likes?
Mm-hmm.
The sensor in it is the same as their AX53 4K Handycam from Sony.
Oh, really?
It's the same sensor.
It's the same as
$1,000
Sony sensor?
Handycam.
That's pretty good. That's probably why people like it.
Yeah. It's not a full inch. I was trying to look up if it was a full inch. It's 125.
Yeah. All right. So this was released maybe 2 weeks ago, but there's this mechanic in Path of Exile called Harvest, and Harvest was a league, And when it came out, it allowed you to craft your items in a way that was very powerful. So people who don't play Path of Exile, the entire game is essentially leveling up your character, min-maxing them, and once you get to end game, it's about crafting, like either finding really good items or crafting them yourselves, which is a very, very, very time-intensive and labor-intensive process. They really make you work for like, that diminishing return aspect on it. But that's what makes the game so much fun. So what happened was Harvest got released. It allowed you to drastically reduce the time allotted to crafting some of these quote-unquote end-game items. It didn't really eliminate the labor-intensive process. You still needed the know-how and the knowledge, and you still needed to put in a lot of work to do this. But at the end of the day, you weren't constantly farming for currency to get the chance to craft certain items, which really only benefits like 0.1% of the player base, because then they end up with all the currency and all the items, and then they have these teams and they all start crafting. So it's a very sort of like a pyramid-esque type crafting system. And then in this league, so after Harvest came out, they removed it because they said it was too powerful. They put in Heist. Heist was a league that kind of flopped, and now this league came out. Harvest is back in the system. It's a little bit nerfed. They changed some things about it. They got rid of the stupid like farming mechanic of it, but you're still able to craft some really good shit. Again, you can't go into it and everyone just starts crafting awesome, crazy gear. There's still like a very big investment that's needed to do it, but now it is a little bit cheaper. And now what we saw with this specific league was normally you would have the very top 0.1% of players crafting these insane pieces of gear that were just so fucking expensive. It was almost impossible for any like average play, or not even average, but like, someone who's playing like 4 hours a day. It was impossible for them to like actually get any of this gear. What happened was when in this league, it had the best numbers that we saw of any league in the last who knows how long. And we also saw this new gap of like mid to high range gear that was still expensive, still took a really long time to craft, but you would be able to do it. Those players would be able to craft these types of items. And then you still had, of course, the top end guys who were crafting, the crazy fucking, they call it GG gear in Path of Exile. So this came out, the development manifesto, and essentially they say, this is not how we want to make the game, right? One of the quotes that's been getting memed out of this manifesto is here where it says, let me find it. Close eyes. So the quote is, this sentiment was summed up by a member of our design team who recently said, we don't want to take away the feeling of closing your eyes and exalting an item scared to see whether you ruined it or not. So they're essentially going back to the currency-based system of crafting where it's all RNG, it's all chance. You're just, you see maybe 5 drops of exalts, like you get like 5 raw exalts throughout hundreds of hours of gameplay. And what would happen is they're expecting these people
you get more than that.
All right, maybe 8, maybe 9.
You just trade chaos. It's all good.
Yeah, but I'm saying like
chaos is still like 20 to 1. You'll get 1,000 chaos if you play 200 hours of a league. You'll get a chaos an hour once you're mapping.
It's still not worth it to exalt on your item when the mod pools are weighted heavily against you. It's just you're never gonna exalt an item.
Usually you'll end up just saving currency and buying your GG item.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's no crafting with this system because you're just never gonna hit the mod that you need, and you're most likely there's a 99% chance you're gonna ruin your fucking item. Now there is that 1% chance that you do hit those mods, but it's very, very like no one does it. So everyone was fucking outraged. Well, I should say mostly everyone was outraged. Most of the players that I would say are like in my camp where we're playing like 4 hours a day, 5 hours a day, which is still kind of a lot, but it's not, the people who are streaming 12, 16 hours a day and just every single day grinding into it. So there's this...
it's okay, dude. Not everyone isn't Mathel.
Yeah, there's this discussion going on between... what's interesting is there's discussion between the future of the game. Should the game should I don't want to talk about the system, but the debate that people are having is that Triple G is out of touch with the player base, right? They're catering towards the streamers, they're catering towards the no-lifers, the people that, are going to spend all that money on microtransactions, and they're missing out on like that 90% of the player base. And I'm curious to know if that is what you guys think a game developer should do. Because in my opinion, this game is so good because the decisions that this development team have made. It's not good because they listened to everyone's opinions and they followed what the main player base wants. They stick to their guns. It's a fucking brutal game. It's so difficult. It's just an insane game. But that's why I like it. You know what I mean? That's why I really enjoy it.
No, I agree with you 100%. Where when you were bringing up this question, I'm thinking of it's been memed to death in Blizzard world of you think you do, but you don't.
That's
but
what gets brought up a lot.
There is
Diablo.
a lot of in that context when that was first said, it was completely misused. But from a game design perspective, there is a lot of merit to that quote.
Yeah. There was Diablo gets brought up a lot from when they took out Hell mode or whatever. I don't
Exactly.
know.
Like Diablo's just easy core. Like look at every Blizzard retail game. It's GG easy.
Yeah.
You get your item in like 4 hours and then you quit.
Yeah, so essentially, I guess when Diablo 3 was first released, there was Hell mode, and then people were freaking out because it was just too difficult. So they removed it and they made it a lot easier. And now, I don't know. I mean, now it's not Path of Exile. I haven't really played too deeply into Diablo 3 Endgame just because I don't really enjoy it that much compared to Path of Exile. But like, yeah, when I saw the debate, I was like, this sucks because I am part of the player base that do benefit. Like, this was the league I played the most of. I fucking love this league. The passive atlas was excellent. The crafting was excellent. There was some flaws.
Also thinking about standard though too, because that is also part of the argument. Is every single one of those items from that league's coming to standard now. That's also ruining standard because there is a weird amount of standard players too.
Oh yeah. That's true. Yeah, it kind of does fuck up a little bit of the economy there. Now I personally,
Which is a fucked economy anyways, but yeah.
If Exalts dropped like Chaos dropped, if you could get Exalts like Chaos, then I would be like, all right, I'm down for fucking, let's start exalting some gear. But the way that Exalts work, it's just, they're so valuable that you're not really using them as a crafting mechanic. You're just using them as currency, and then you're just going to buy the shit that you need. And that's just how that kind of works. Only the very top 0.1% of players are actually using Exalts for, some serious crafting. So it really comes down to like, in this specific case, like, do they want deterministic crafting or not? And, we're going to see kind of how this goes. But I did think it was interesting how the debate it devolved into this company it's going to fail. This is going to be the worst league ever because they're not listening to their player base. When I think the opposite, and a few other, big Path of Exile players also feel this way. It's like the reason why this game is the way it is because they are very non-forgiving to the player base. Like, if you want some good shit, if you want to get to, just one-shotting serious, you have to put in the time, and that's just how it's going to be. And that's why I love it. I can't fucking get enough of it.
The game is that it is hard.
Yeah.
But like, I see a little bit of that both ways. Like, I think it'd be okay if they added a nerfed version of it, because that's what they do for all leagues, and that's why I don't see why people would be that upset. Because even if it was added, all the leagues that do get added are so nerfed that they're, except for Delve, basically they're just inconsequential.
Yeah.
Like, cool, dude. You'll now see, you'll get this in a map like 1 in every 200 maps. Who fucking cares?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
So what they did, they're not completely getting rid of Harvest. What they're doing is they're making it drop more, but you can't augment certain influence gear, which is basically what you want. That's what made Harvest crafting so popular, is because you could get influence gear, which is the end game gear, and then you can augment a fucking physical on it, or you can augment a fire ability. And then if you know how the mod pool works, you can pretty much guarantee certain mods on items. Now it still was difficult. Again, it still needed a lot of time investment, but it just made it a little bit more accessible to players, and they're like,
Yeah.
no, that's too powerful. We gotta get rid of it. But I'm like, all right, whatever. It's just make it more
I mean,
difficult, I
I
guess.
get, yeah, I get the idea of wanting it to be a little bit more accessible because that would be nice, but I feel like there's a difference there of like, I don't know. To me, I don't want 6 links accessible.
Yeah.
I rarely get 6 links. I'm a very good player with 5 links. You know what I mean? I'm like, it's not even about that, but it's like, if I can just get an easy 6 link, then like there's nothing for me to strive for. It's like, cool, I'll do that, get the 6 link, and I'm done.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, it didn't make it easy in any sense of the word. It just made it more accessible to players. It made it more accessible to a wider audience of player or a wider player base, which was cool.
Which I think is and that's, I guess, to me that's the point of leagues. That, hell yeah, that's awesome for a league. I don't know if I'd want that in the base game.
Yeah, and I was thinking like maybe because I do enjoy I love being able to craft at least some like decent gear. When I haven't crafted anything GG worthy, but I did craft some decent gear this year or this league.
I mean, but like once you do learn the game, because I guess I'm curious about the next league is if due to this past league being as accessible, it actually taught people how to craft.
Yeah, it definitely did. It definitely
Which
did.
that once like because that's why like I haven't been super interested in this league, and it's mostly because I've also been playing other games too. But like, and I'm kind of waiting for the big update to Path of Exile. But like,
yeah.
I don't play the game like I'm in the same camp as you. I don't play it a ton. Like if I play it, I'm probably gonna play it 5 hours. I'll play it hardcore like the first week of a league launch. You know what I mean? But after that, like, But I've played the game enough where I've never worried about gear just because I know how to craft.
Yeah.
Or I know the way the mods work, and I know how to find budget things and make them good. Or like things like that, you use Delve to add on a specific like socket or type you want, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
there is a lot of different ways to make really good budget gear.
Yeah. Yeah, and then
you just
Harvest
have to
made
have
it where
that
you can make some
knowledge.
serious, you can definitely get like, this was the league with the best player retention. This was the league where people got the farthest. I mean, it definitely was
That would help.
I love this league. I thought it was excellent. But
like that helps, but I'm curious to see if they don't have that next league, if more people still can reach that height now that they just actually know how crafting works. So like I was saying, if you know how crafting works, there's so many different things with the way you can already target. You've been able to target mods forever with crafting benches and Delve.
Yeah.
Like you can still totally easily get a 5 link or even a budget 6 link and target craft it really cheap and pretty easily. You know what I mean? That's been in the game.
Yeah.
It's just people,
and they're not
don't
taking
know
Harvest
how to
out.
do it.
You can still craft shit basically. You just can't craft like the very top end of shit. And supposedly, they're not even changing that. I mean, this is from what Rise QT said.
I don't want free GG items every league. That's not fun.
Yeah, exactly. So there was a really big, I mean, you can go into the subreddit and see. The subreddit's always been a mess, but it's just been like, they're so out of touch. The fact that they do think people are slamming exalts on their items is a little bit out of touch. No one's really doing that. I think that's a valid critique.
More people do that than you think, but it is definitely a small percentage of the
players.
Yeah,
I mean, possibly some, but yeah, I think it's definitely a little bit out of touch if they think, I'm gonna take this fucking item that took me, literally 1,000 hours to get, and then exalt it just to probably ruin it. Just doesn't really make much sense. But yeah,
dude, I've done it before, especially once you get a character like his. I don't know. That's where I have a different feeling about that game, I guess. And that's why I don't understand a lot of the pushback, because I think a lot of the community at times is too like gear dependent and focused on the gear, where it's just like, okay, I've gotten builds where I've killed everything, you know what I mean? And I'm like, cool, it's only a pretty good 5 link and I got a budget 6 link I want to dick around with, but I've already killed everything. Like, I've accomplished my goals. So at that point, sure, dude, I'm going to slam some things and see if I can make that character better. Like, and if I doesn't, oh, well, who cares? I'm just going to make a new one anyway.
Yeah,
like, I do it once I'm, like, done with the character to see if I can get another couple of days of fun out of it. You know what
My
I mean?
my biggest thing with Harvest, I think the reason why I enjoyed this league so much was because it really made a lot more builds viable. Like you didn't see the same fucking builds that we saw like since the beginning. Like this definitely, like I made a crackling lance build this league, which was, I mean, no one's using that fucking skill.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And being able to like
I can agree
craft,
with, yeah.
it definitely made a lot more builds more viable, which was really cool.
Yes. That I agree with, a good argument for it, because a lot of I mean, shit, dude, is Sunder still your starting build?
Yeah,
Probably.
like exactly, like the cyclones, the fucking.
I haven't
you know.
played it in a year, but I can tell you Sunder's still a really good starter build if you go duelist and Sunder, because it's just good.
Yeah, yeah. So
But
yeah,
then
it was
after that, I agree with that with the yeah, like it would be cool if there's more like fun hipster builds like that you can make work really well without having to put in 15 exalts a gear into.
yeah,
Like that I definitely agree with, but like same time like that's, I don't know. It's like a weird fun hipster build, you know what I mean? I want there to be a little bit of risk there of, can I make this work or not? Because then there's a reward there of if I make it work.
yeah. No, for sure. Yeah, it's been interesting seeing the divide happen here, and where we're gonna see the next league kind of takes us. Again, they're not removing it, which is cool, and they're buffing the drops that you get from it. It's just you can't influence or you can't craft on influence gear, which is the big kind of takeaway. So everyone's like, oh, it's dead.
I mean, like, if it changes it from you being easily able to get a really
there was
good 5 link into a bad 6 link, hell yeah, go for it.
There was a craft there. I mean, I have a craft right now in my Hoardercraft station that is remove a random influence mod and add another random influence mod. Like, it is pretty crazy the amount of like power that came with this. But like, I mean, that's more rare than a fucking Exile, you know, like, and like trying to get that was really difficult, but you know, it is pretty OP. So we're going to see, I'm still like wildly addicted to it. It's the only fucking game I play, but
dude, it's like once you get down that rabbit hole,
I can't
it's
stop.
such a good game.
Yeah, it really is. It's so hard too. I fucking hate
I mean,
how hard
it is, but like the more you learn about it, like that's why I guess I'm super curious if people have learned how to craft.
Oh, for sure. No, they definitely did.
That's honestly the big difference between all of those streamers making money that you see. Like, sure, playtime goes in a lot, but it's like
they know how the crafting.
Well, they know how to craft, but they also know what's good to craft and how to get it good. Like they
know how like things scale right, and they know
right. Like you it's a lot easier to say, yeah, I'm gonna drop 15 exalts slamming something when I know what I'm looking for, but I know I can find the gear or make the gear that's going to sell and make me those 15 exalts back really easily, and it's not even about drops. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right.
Like if you put the right craft on a piece of gear, you can sell it for fucking like 20 more chaos easily.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, that was what I wanted to chat about. I thought that was pretty interesting, and then we can get into Activision CEO. Fans enraged over gaming company CEO's $200 million bonus amid layoffs. Corporations are not your friend, quote. Kodak's generous payout is thanks to a clause in his contract. As reported by Kotaku, he received $200 million, according to an investment group, after dozens of employees in the company suffered layoffs. Activision Blizzard's strong performance in the stock market throughout the pandemic made him eligible for the $200 million bonus. These estimates are provided by CTW. While the increase, this is a quote, while the increase in Activision stock price is somewhat commendable, as we stated last year and continue to assert, this achievement alone does not justify such a substantial pay outcome for the CEO, Varner wrote to Kotaku. Just a few days earlier, Activision laid off over 50 employees. It's possible that up to 190 workers were fired, according to Bloomberg reporter Jason Schreier. More on today's Activision. This is Schreier's tweet here. Dozens of people at the whole company were impacted, not just in live events. In addition to 90 days severance and a year of health benefits, laid off staff received $200 Battle.net gift cards. Very nice. Sick, dude. Activision had originally announced that the layoffs were 50 people in the esports live events departments, but the real number appears to be much higher. Person familiar says it was less than 2% of total staff, which would be around 190. So this is the age-old story of the CEO versus the people, the CEO versus the big tyrant CEO taking all the profits, and the little guy getting shafted here in the end.
Well, Blizzard also Activision Blizzard pays significantly under market rate.
Yeah. Now, of course, you're giving this guy a $200 million bonus and laying off 190 employees. That definitely doesn't look good. That definitely sucks.
But it doesn't. It looks worse when every third party is just like, dude, your stock didn't go up enough to quantify that big of a bonus.
Yeah. Yeah, that definitely makes it worse. That definitely makes it a little worse when it's not chained to what it should be. It is what it is. Here's a quote, corporations are not your friend. Another Redditor user declared they will only ever live to wring every dollar out of you. Even if it kills you or ruins your life, they don't deserve trust or loyalty. They will be the death of us all. There we go. All right. Well,
Fair point.
there you go. Yeah, I mean, this is what capitalism brings. It's all about the profit. It's all about if you're at the top, you stay at the top. If you're at the bottom, you get axed. I don't think anyone should be surprised by this. Unfortunately,
I mean, yeah, but it's just more just scummy shit. It's scummy because then you also gave them a fucking gift card.
Yeah, that's definitely nice. With your severance package, it's $200 gift card. Ooh, it's a big one. That's a nice shiny
Come on
one.
down to the company store as we let you go. Be sure to get a souvenir on the way out.
Yeah, exactly.
let me at least turn my stocks into money or something. Jeez. Nah,
Yeah.
dude, you can play WoW for a year with this. Have fun.
We sure do hope you'll stick around and play more Overwatch, even though you're fired.
Someone here,
No,
it's
not even that. It's congrats. You can buy the next. You can buy the next 2 CODs.
Yeah, someone here writes, why is
If-
everyone shitting on gift cards? Yeah, it sucks they were laid off, but you expect them not to play COD, StarCraft, Warcraft, Overwatch games ever again? Okay, that's a very
I mean,
interesting way
buy
to
the
put
next
it.
2 cards. I've got the storage space to fit them.
Yeah, right.
So that $200 gift card to buy some more storage space.
Now,
I keep
okay,
putting that off. Don't talk to me about storage space right now. I keep putting it off, and I really need to buy a couple of new
Oh,
SSDs.
believe me, I'm starting with storage space. I'm just excited for when the PlayStation 5 gets expandable storage.
I actually need to buy another hard drive for my NAS. I'm
Yeah,
tapped out
same.
on my NAS.
No, that's why I'm completely out of space just from filming. Where I just realized, oh, cool. I was re-downloading GTA this week, and I had to start deleting things because I didn't have space, and that's hasn't happened to me in 5 years.
Yeah, it definitely sucks.
It's oh yeah, I got 3 terabytes of footage. Cool, dude.
No, I'm curious to know. I don't know. I'm curious to know how well did Activision Blizzard really do during the pandemic? Did they do good?
I mean, they did.
Their stock seemed to have
good,
done
but
okay.
Bad, if that makes sense. They had a lot of ups and a lot of downs, but their ups were really good.
Yeah. Well, it says here, I mean, according to the ticker, it was at $103 and now it's down to 90. So it did go up and down a little bit. Well, I guess that's not bad considering the pandemic. They didn't, lose too much.
Oh no, at the start of the pandemic, they made a fuck ton because everyone started playing WoW and other games like that again.
Mm-hmm.
But then as it's progressed, they've had a lot of downs, and then they've also had a lot of good ups. Whenever there's a new WoW launch or COD launch, they spike like crazy, and they did really good with COD and WoW this year. But by now, they've already lost well over half of that.
So here's
Player base wise.
Here's an interesting comment. Remember when Iwata cut his salary by half because he didn't want to fire anyone because that would lower the team morale. The above comment was referencing the late Satoru Iwata, CEO of Nintendo from 2002 until his tragic death in 2015. When Nintendo's profits were flagging in 2014, he took a massive voluntary pay cut in order to avoid layoffs. He was joined by other Nintendo execs who also took substantial pay cuts to preserve employees, including the legendary Shigeru Miyamoto. Yeah, I mean, this is the difference between what Americans think of in terms of business and what the Japanese. So if you look at like Japanese businesses, this is something I looked at in the camera world and I dove more deeply into. They really, really all just the main thing that Japanese business is about sticking around. It's about being that canon, that mainstay. It's just going to sit there forever. Nintendo, right? These are big mainstay companies. They're very proud to be these long-standing pillars of Japanese business.
You don't stay around for 100 years without doing something right.
It's just part of the core tenets of Japanese business is just sticking around. It's no matter what, making sure you can stay through the long haul for generations after generations. The United States is just not like that. The United States, like this CEO is gonna go work for Chobani or something next year. You know what I mean? Like he can go and work for fucking Band-Aid or something. Like,
well, it's like sports coaching. CEO is very similar to that of you're brought in for 5 years, make as much as you can because you can get fired.
Yeah, exactly. They do not give a shit about the institution.
You get hired to get fired.
Yeah. Now, which is I'm curious to know which system produces the best economic outcome. I don't know. I haven't looked at that. Say Nintendo does do something like that, but they end up making less money throughout the years. And, sure, everyone gets to stick around, but they all kind of stay at the same salary. When the American system, maybe there's higher price jumps. Maybe more people start to make more money. You get those dips, but at least there is that potential for more profit. I don't know which system works best.
The average salary is, and like what the disparity between the top and bottoms are.
Yeah, throughout the life of the company,
Like, would you want your CEO making billions of dollars, but the majority of your staff is underpaid, or the CEO's not making as much? Maybe even the company's not making that much money, but everyone's has some security and is making a livable salary.
Or more like the CEO is making billions, but there's a lot more people making, a smaller wage as opposed to a much smaller company where everyone kind of makes like the CEO might make like a few million that year, and then the employees, the smaller amount of employees make a little bit more. Maybe they make 50,000 instead of 35, 40,000.
And then you have to add in culture. You have to add in like
cost of living.
Yeah, like I don't know how.
I'm talking more like, are your employees happy?
Yeah. Well, I'm not even thinking about that. I mean, that's a very hard sort of thing to quantify.
Yeah. You can't quantify that.
But just in terms of like economic output, who knows? I don't know which system is better.
That's above.
I would imagine.
I want someone to go make a thesis paper on that, please.
Yeah.
Like, make that your college thesis or something.
Yeah.
Because I can see both, where I can see like the ideas, like the theory that like happy employees work,
which is better.
Yeah.
Yeah, happy employees would be more productive employees, but then there's also that mindset that our employees need to be hungry. That way they'll work harder.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they like right now they both obviously do work because Activision and Nintendo still both exist.
Yeah,
what I mean?
and they both are making great money.
Better.
Yeah, and they're both huge. Which is bigger? I don't know. I would assume Activision is bigger. I have no idea.
I would assume Nintendo is bigger.
Yeah, I actually don't know.
I that's the harder. It's not an apples to oranges. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's
that one's definitely hard because
you would have to go. What is Nintendo's software division versus Activision? You know what I mean?
And Nintendo's software division is wholly dependent upon their hardware division.
True. But I just
whereas
so
Activision makes games for multiple consoles.
So here,
they don't have a hardware like requirement.
Here, just from Google, just googling how many employees, Nintendo has 6,200 as of 2020, and Activision has 9,200 as of 2020, or as of 2019. I'm sorry.
Is that 6,200 across all boards, or is that NOA?
That's just what I typed in. How many employees Nintendo has? That I don't know the specifics.
Okay.
But this is what Google, like, it's a Google result actually. I don't know how they.
I will say I'm pretty sure of people who announce game sales, though, Nintendo's got a lot more spots on the top 50 than Activision does.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, but Activision Blizzard does own World of Warcraft, which is the only game you play.
And I would say this is also
True.
another thing where Nintendo, when they make games, their software, when those games sell, there's no other company seeing that profit for the most. Like, there's no hardware company seeing that profit. They're
Yeah,
getting
that's a
all of
good
it.
point. That is a good point.
You know, if Activision makes games that are on Xbox, on PlayStation, and on Nintendo, I got to imagine those companies are making something when it sells on their platform.
Yeah.
Whereas Nintendo games
Guess how
sell,
many employees work
Nintendo
at
makes
Game
money
Freak?
because that's it.
Okay,
According to
I'm
Google.
just gonna say, Nintendo has 12 games before Activision has 1,
Damn.
Makes sense to me.
and that is at number 19, Call of Duty: Original Modern Warfare.
Can I guess the games that are above it?
Oh, sorry, that's actually the re-release Modern Warfare.
Animal Crossing.
Okay, so you want to guess the games above it? Okay, uh, Animal Crossing: New Horizons is above it.
Pokemon Sword and Shield, both.
No,
Really? The
Super Smash
Mario
Brothers.
Odyssey.
no.
What year is this for? Just this year?
This is for all years.
All
All
years.
years? Okay.
This is total.
Oh, total. Oh, total. Like in history.
Yes.
Then there's multiple Zeldas on there.
Nope. Not above.
Not
Modern
above
Warfare.
COD.
Not above
Really?
Modern Warfare.
Yeah, I thought
Nope.
Breath of the Wild might.
There
Be.
is Wii Sports, Super Mario
Okay, Wii
Bros.
Sports is hard because
Pokemon
that was a
Red, Green-
pack-in.
Red, Green, Blue, and Yellow, Wii Fit
That makes
Plus,
sense.
Tetris Nintendo version,
I think it was a pack-in.
Mario 8 Deluxe,
Okay, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe makes
Wii,
sense.
Wii Sports Resort, Animal Crossing's New Horizons, New Super Mario Bros., New Super Mario Bros. Wii.
I always forget the Wii Sports makes sense because that was a pack-in for the Wii. So every time you bought a Wii, you got that game,
Yeah, but Wii
which
Sports
alone
Resort,
makes it high.
Wii Sports Resort is above it.
That power of the Wii.
Yeah,
for
and that goes by
casual gaming
sales.
Was wild.
That goes by sales too. That I don't think they would count the pack-ins because it goes by sales, right? I mean, does buying a
Maybe.
Nintendo Switch count as a sale for Wii Sports?
I don't know if it does.
I think this is a different list too because I don't know if it is. There's 82,900,000 sales of Wii Sports,
See, that would have to be pack-in
Maybe.
and there is
because the
30,000
Wii sold
for
how
Modern
many?
Warfare,
I don't know.
How many?
or
Like,
30
how-
million.
like,
Excuse me.
yeah, like the Wii sold. I think it's like
I'm just saying,
third or fourth.
when all of
highest
you guys shit
selling
talk me
consoles?
about fucking Animal Crossing: New Horizons,
Oh no, it's.
Animal
I-
Crossing sold more than fucking COD.
I'm not a fan of Animal Crossing, but I will never ignore the fact that it is a seller. It sells like crazy.
It sold more than Pokemon Gold, Silver, and Crystal. It sold more than The Witcher 3. It sold more than GTA San Andreas. Sold
Yeah,
more
just
than Modern
imagine
Warfare
where
3,
society
Animal-
would be if
Black
everyone
Ops,
who bought Animal.
Sun Moon.
Imagine where society
than
be
Grand
if
GTA
everyone
4.
who bought Animal Crossing bought Witcher 3 instead. We'd be
Animal Crossing
literally on
has
Mars.
a diehard fan base.
Yeah. Well, everyone has Animal. I even have it, and I fucking don't even like the game. You just buy Animal Crossing. That's just a fact of life.
I don't own it, but if it sales allows Nintendo to make games that I do like, more power to them.
I mean, it sold like fucking hotcakes, except Nintendo hasn't released shit. When are they gonna release a goddamn game? Come on, all that fucking
Yeah, but
Animal
it
Crossing
works
money.
apparently.
God
Because
damn.
that's what I'm. That's my point. Is like even if you just go by Switch games versus I'll do Switch games versus Activision and Blizzard.
I've told you this. This is Nintendo's thing. Nintendo does this when they have two modes. We're doing very well mode and we're not doing very well mode. In not doing very well mode, they will pump out titles like crazy. But once they're in like a really good spot, it'll trickle because they'll just sit on their sales.
True. Yeah,
That's what they do.
very true.
Like when the Wii U failed, they knew that the Switch had to be great, and then they made tons of games. Like that first year to 2 years of the Switch was just software hitting crazy. And then then they saw the sales, and now it's like, okay, well, what are we releasing? No, we'll release this. Whatever.
So there are 4 Switch games in the top 50. There are 5 total, period, for Activision Blizzard.
Mm-hmm.
Across all time.
What's the number 1 game?
Minecraft.
What's number 2?
That makes sense.
What's number 2?
Absolutely makes sense.
Where's GTA land? I'm curious where GTA
And that is
land.
one of the reasons.
GTA is number 2.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Minecraft being the number 1 selling game of all time is one of the reasons why it made so much sense when they put Steve in Smash.
Yeah.
No, Minecraft has 200 million sales.
Yeah, it's insane.
GTA 5 has 140 million.
Yeah, that's insane.
Then Tetris Mobile by EA Mobile has 100 million.
Tetris Mobile?
And then, yeah.
Wow.
The original version that was on all of your Nokias and everything else like that still exists.
I played a lot of Tetris on my Razr phone when I was a kid.
Yeah, Tetris is one of the greatest games. I will go down in history. It's one of the greatest games ever made.
The EA version of Tetris for mobile phones is number 3. The
I still have to play Tetris
NES
Attack.
version of Tetris is number 9.
Yeah.
Tetris Attack, I heard, is really good. I need to still play that.
My dad's getting into gaming with mobile gaming. I'm so pumped.
Get him Tetris.
Yeah, he's playing all these puzzle games like that. He hasn't played Tetris yet, but
He's playing Candy Crush.
I'm slowly getting him to play Witcher 3. That's my goal. Somehow figure out a way to get him to play Witcher 3.
Just tell him it's a big puzzle. It's an action puzzle.
Yeah.
The Modern Warfare remake that is number 19 that sold really well and made Activision a lot of money. That is their first thing on this list since 2012.
Yeah. Fascinating. Where does Diablo 2 or where does
Diablo 3 is 21. That's the one Blizzard thing.
Okay. Right. And then where does
it's tied / just under the new COD.
Okay, that makes sense.
And it's also tied with Skyrim.
Where does Witcher 3 land?
Witcher 3 is 25. For reference, those 3 games I just mentioned have 30 million sales. Witcher 3 is at 25 with 28 million sales.
Okay. Where does Skyrim land? I'm curious about Skyrim.
30. It's tied with COD and Diablo 3 at 30 million.
Oh, okay. Wow. All right, let's wrap this up. Thank you all for tuning in. Every Sunday, 12 p.m. Eastern, coming at you. Game, tech, culture news. Every week, baby, at the same exact time, 12 p.m. Eastern. We love you all. Have a great weekend. Have a great week.